Lord, do not rebuke me in your anger, or discipline me in your wrath. Have mercy on me, Lord, for I am faint. Heal me, Lord, for my bones are in agony. My soul is in deep anguish. How long, Lord? How long? Turn, Lord, and deliver me. Save me because of your unfailing love. Among the dead, no one proclaims your name. Who praises you from the grave? I am worn out from my groaning all night long. I flood my bed with weeping and drench my couch with tears. My eyes grow weak with sorrow. They fell because of all my foes. Away from me, all you who do evil, for the Lord has heard my weeping. The Lord has heard my cry for mercy. The Lord accepts my prayer. All my enemies will be overwhelmed with shame and anguish. They will turn back and suddenly be put to shame. Discipline me in your wrath. Have mercy on me, Lord, for I am faint. Heal me, Lord, for my bones are in agony. My soul is in deep anguish. How long, Lord? How long? Turn, Lord, and deliver me. Save me because of your unfailing love. Among the dead, no one proclaims your name. Who praises you from the grave? I am worn out from my groaning all night long. I flood my bed with weeping and drench my couch with tears. My eyes grow weak with sorrow. They fell because of all my foes. Away from me, all you who do evil, for the Lord has heard my weeping. The Lord has heard my cry for mercy. The Lord accepts my prayer. All my enemies will be overwhelmed with shame and anguish. They will turn back and suddenly be put to shame. Lord, do not rebuke me in your anger, or discipline me in your wrath. Have mercy on me, Lord, for I am faint. Heal me, Lord, for my bones are in agony. My soul is in deep anguish. How long, Lord, how long? Turn, Lord, and deliver me, or save me because of your unfailing love. Among the dead, no one proclaims your name. Who praises you from the grave? I am worn out from my groaning all night long. I flood my bed with weeping and drench my couch with tears. My eyes grow weak with sorrow. They fail because of all foes away from me, all you who do evil, for the Lord has heard my weeping. The Lord has heard my cry for mercy. The Lord accepts my prayer. All my enemies will be overwhelmed with shame and anguish. They will turn back and suddenly be put to shame. My soul is in deep anguish. How long, Lord? How long? Turn, Lord, and deliver me. Save me because of your unfailing love. Among the dead no one proclaims your name. Who praises you from the grave? I am worn out from my groaning all night long. I flood my bed with weeping and drench my couch with tears. My eyes grow weak with sorrow. They fail because of all my foes away from me. All you who do evil, for the Lord has heard my weeping. The Lord has heard my cry for mercy. The Lord accepts my prayer. All my enemies will be overwhelmed with shame and anguish. They will turn back and suddenly be put to shame.
Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Great. So you know how we usually get into all these fascinating articles and research papers?
Yeah.
Well, today, we thought we'd shake things up a bit.
Intrigued. What do you have in mind?
This time, we're diving into something a little different. A psalm.
A psalm, huh?
Yep, Psalm 6, to be exact. From the book of Psalms.
Okay, I'm listening. Not our usual territory, but could be interesting.
It really is. Now, for anyone out there who might not be familiar with Psalms, think of them as sacred songs or poems, often very emotional, addressed to a higher power.
Right. And Psalm 6, this one we're looking at today, it's what you'd call a lament, right?
Exactly. A lament. It's basically an outpouring of grief, suffering, sometimes even anger, directed towards God.
Heavy stuff. And I remember this particular lament is attributed to King David.
Yep. Which is super interesting because when you think of David, you usually picture this powerful king, the warrior, the giant slayer, all
And
that.
all the epic stories.
But in this psalm, he's completely stripped bare. He's pouring out his pain, his vulnerability. It's raw.
You're right. It's like we're getting this unfiltered glimpse into his soul. Humanizes him in a way those victory stories never could.
It really does. Okay, so let's jump right into the psalm itself. And from the very first line, David doesn't hold back. He pleads with God for mercy, saying, "Lord, do not rebuke me in your anger or discipline me in your wrath."
Wow, yeah. Talk about throwing you right into the middle of his emotional turmoil. The guy's clearly in agony, physically and emotionally, and desperate for some relief.
And that desperation, it just builds as the psalm goes on. He keeps repeating this phrase, "How long, Lord, how long?" over and over.
Yeah, that repetition. It really drives home his feeling of abandonment. Like he's at the end of his rope, not sure if God even hears him.
Totally. It's so relatable to anyone who's ever felt lost, forgotten during a rough time.
Absolutely.
And then he starts describing the physical toll that all this emotional stress is taking on him.
Oh, right. Like it's not just in his head.
Nope. He talks about sleepless nights, constant weeping, even feels like his body is wasting away.
That's where David's use of language is just so powerful. It's vivid. You really feel the depth of his suffering.
It's a full body experience, just wearing him down. There's this one line that really hit me. He says, "My eyes grow weak with sorrow. They fail because of all my foes." It's almost like his eyesight is fading under the weight of all the pain and opposition.
Man, that's heavy. You can almost feel that exhaustion, like being drained by worry and anxiety. We've all been there, right?
Totally. We've all had those days. But then, right when it feels like he's about to give in to despair, there's this shift. He says, "The Lord has heard my weeping. The Lord has heard my cry for mercy. The Lord accepts my prayer."
Oh, that's interesting. It's more than just what he's saying, isn't it? His whole tone seems to change.
You're right. It's like he's not just focused on his own pain anymore. He's starting to recognize God's power, his mercy.
A glimmer of hope, maybe?
Definitely. And with that hope, he gains this sense of confidence in God's justice. He starts to believe that ultimately his enemies will be defeated and righteousness will win out.
Huh. That idea of divine justice, it can be a bit tricky. Depends on your own beliefs, I guess.
How so?
Well, for someone who believes, like David, it reinforces that idea that God protects those who are righteous. But for someone who doesn't share those beliefs,
Yeah.
it could be seen more as just David's deep longing for fairness and order in a world that feels chaotic.
Oh, that's a really interesting perspective. It reminds us that these ancient texts, they can have so many different interpretations, all depending on our own experiences.
Exactly.
But no matter how you choose to interpret it, there's no denying the raw emotion, the universality of what David's going through here.
Absolutely. Grief, despair, longing for solace, it's all part of the human experience. We've all been there, right?
100%. And that's what makes this psalm so powerful. It reminds us that these emotions, they're not a sign of weakness.
Not at all.
They're part of being human.
Yeah.
And we're not alone in feeling them.
It's like reading a diary from thousands of years ago and realizing, wow, people have been dealing with the same stuff forever.
It makes you wonder, though, for people who don't turn to a higher power during tough times, how do they handle those feelings? What are some other ways folks find comfort and meaning?
That's a great question. It makes you think about the power of things like art, music, poetry. They can be outlets, ways to channel those heavy emotions and find some peace.
Like this psalm has done for centuries.
Exactly.
So just to wrap things up, we spent some time with Psalm 6. It's such a moving and insightful piece of writing.
Definitely.
Seeing how its emotional arc, the powerful language, all of it is still relevant today.
And hopefully it's left you with something to think about.
Like what?
How can we express our own tough emotions in healthy ways? Where do we turn for comfort and meaning? And can we use art and creativity to help us heal and connect?
Really great questions to ponder. We'll leave those with you to think about. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
See you next time.
See ya.